first 4 states, and then we're live. Hi, I'm waving from the top.
You might as well continue with it with the.
Yeah, Sean did a graph, and it's on like Thursday or Friday show. And one of the questions was, it's about swing states, and it was about swing states are states that have abortion as an issue, actually on the ballot. There's a single standing state issue. And he had to reformat his graph when he did this because, like, he was comparing number of women who had registered to vote in 2020 and then the number of women who've already registered this year. And they doubled or tripled in most of the states he looked at. In Louisiana, it went along like there was like this line of things. And then this is a spike. That's how many more people. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, I asked Sean he said, Mom, I checked that 5 ways from nothing. He said, I even found another person who'd found it the day before going, whoa, what is this? So
I think I said something last week briefly. I found that stat or something about how, voter registrations have been skyrocketing, and Louisiana was the weird one. So many more.
Yeah, and he went back and checked, and he checked it through the website you can use in Louisiana, and then he checked it again through vote.gov, which is where the main frame. That's the one that got created. It really can't. It doesn't control who's on there. The states do that, but all the states report into it. That's the part of the government they created. That's why we knew that 2020 was so honest. Because after 2016. Yep, Diana. We're having better days tomorrow. And better days today. Unless you're part of LULAC or a Latino and you live in Texas. Then they're raiding your houses.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's a weird situation there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure it's the same with many folks' Facebook page, but I posted my sign I put out, and oh my God, the outrage. More comments because I posted my Kamala and
wall sign. Mm-hmm.
Wow, the outrage. Some people really flipped out.
You need to get some new Facebook friends, Scott. That's all.
I'm thinking, but it's really, really strange. People I've known for 30 plus years never had a lick of hatred in their life that I know personally. Events at the ballpark, whatever. And wow. Yeah. How they went down these rabbit holes because of that orange one. And so many veteran friends. It's mind-numbing.
Constance Campbell says she wants to be your Facebook friend. Go find him on Facebook and ask him to be your friend. I mean, we can support Scott.
Yeah.
My old friends, I have friends I know in the Midwest, around Chicago area, some of whom I, grew up with, went to kindergarten with, or went to school with their siblings or whatever. One guy said, I can't believe you really post these things. That's the last thing I heard from him. And his dad was a doctor with my dad. And I just wrote him back and I said, I don't have a right to my own thoughts. I've never heard from him again.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh yeah. I've seen Bandy Lee's posts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like a guy, when I went down to my softball with my Air Force buddies, these tournaments, and this guy was a chief master sergeant, highest enlisted, and he got on that post, and he's posting all this crazy stuff, this QAnon stuff, totally out of reality. Same thing that, there's open borders and the Democrats are allowing them to vote and giving them free credit cards. And
I wish they'd let me know where this line is. I can speak a little Spanish. I'll get in that line and get some of this. Trust me, guys. I live down where it's that what they liked was when someone my age went to a lot of schools in Texas, and I went to college with a young woman named Bettina, and Bettina had grown up in a Spanish household, and I thought she was Italian because her last name was one I'd always heard as an Italian last name because I grew up in Chicago. And I was talking to her one day and she started telling me about the stuff that happened to her as a child. If she spoke Spanish if they heard them speaking Spanish in the school or on the school grounds, they would take those kids in, they'd put their heads in metal trash cans and bang on them with their head in the can. And said, this is to wring that out of your head. And, I knew there was prejudice, but when you can get people who live through it to really talk to you about it. I had an African-American friend I went to college with who, when she was a little girl, her family grew up on East Texas, Louisiana area. Her parents made the kids huddle down in the back seat and they said, don't look, don't look. And she, being who she was, she looked and there was someone hanging from a tree. So, I'm 75. So, I knew the horrors people had lived with. So, the fact these are the children, the ones, they'd be the children of the people who were my age. Their children are some of your friends now, adult friends, and they grew up in households that really said that. I never heard the N-word outside of something you just absolutely didn't do till I came to the South. But by the time I was back visiting in the North, they were saying it. So.
Okay. You want to check in on Hungary. So that's that small country that Orban controls, right?
Right. And it's
international students in future. The word that popped in my head is bleak.
Yeah.
For jobs in future. Let's see.
Unless they're going to import them, indoctrinate them, and export them. Which Germany tried to do. It didn't do it too successfully. Because people saw where Germany was going, and so they didn't keep sending them there. Let's see.
Let's take a few. Military control. The Knight of Swords comes out. That's kind of like military overlords, kind of like a Russian type government.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got obstacles. The youth, Page of Cups, the youth may do some revolting or, protests. Do moving out after studies is better. Okay, let's see what else. Justice. It sees in this current time frame, it seems like there's going to be protests and whatnot, but it's going to be shut down with the Ten of Swords. Every time positivity comes flying through, we got negativity. So
I got a different picture completely, Scott. I got there into complete transformation. They're moving forward. They're coming up to a new day because of what these students see. There's going to be armed intervention. There's going to be fighting about it, but the fighting will end, and Hungary will take itself out of the position of always having to be in defense. Who are they going to market with? China's failing. China's even pulling away from Putin. China's hiding the transactions it's had with Putin because they know he's about to go down. So if they don't have China and they don't have Russia to deal with, and they were part of that trying to create another currency, the brick, and that's completely failed. And as our ever um, as our ever knowledgeable Karen Louise says, Hungary is 60th in the world in gross domestic product. Where are they going to go?
Yeah. I mean, I sensed it later, but in this time frame, it feels like a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
There is, I do feel.
Oh no, I feel there. It's going. But what it said, I said, "What's the future?" And I got transformation. That guy.
Yeah, the future, but in the current, it seems
What's
like
well?
struggle. I mean, just to me.
Okay.
I get it. I see. I get your cards. I feel that. Yes.
Yeah, but for jobs right now, no, there's nothing going to be going on until they realign their economy. Because money will not as much. That's why they're trying so desperately the big money to take over the U.S. Because then they'd have a lot more control. But money right now will always flow into an economy that's free, because it's the government's not going to come and take everything they own. And somehow these jerks think that if an American takes over and becomes a dictator, they won't go like every other dictator ever has. And I've read enough world history now. The key to the word dictator is dick. That's what they are.
Yeah. Germany would be a good option. There's probably, I think Germany would be a lot better.
Yeah, but Germany's done a lot to keep that sort of crap out for the most part. But their right is on the rise right now too.
Yeah, Hungary's pretty small. Yes, Dan.
California's smaller than the U.S. and it's the sixth largest world economy. So,
good point. Make sure I snag everything here. Good morning, Patricia.
I'm going to go get my bunny and my kitty cards. People really liked those last week.
Oh, so sorry. People have to. I went to Just Travel talking about struggling since 2020. Their news, Pakistan will be breaking apart too. Yeah, I mean, we all need to just be grateful for where we are at and not in these oligarchy systems. Why is my okay?
Are you showing up for the debate?
Debate. Does bullying come on bill? Okay. What cards want evil?
I'm going to do my. I'll have my kittens look at it. Whether it'll show up. Kittens like you no matter what kind of a jerk you are.
Those type of questions are kind of like there's so many choices available. You know, will he get sick? Will he get COVID? You know, there's so many factors.
Just saying, will he physically be there speaking? Ought to cover him being at the debate.
Okay. Well, morning, Linda.
Oh, he's going to show up, but it's going to be bad for him. It's not going to be a great place for him to build a base. 4 of Wands. He's going to be upside down. He's not going to be feeling well, Scott. Look at the 10 of Swords in this deck. Cute little kid. And it's the Ace of Pentacles for him. It's going to really devalue what he's been working on. And as far as Kamala handling it, yeah, she's going to be the hermit. She's going to shine the light on what he's doing. And eventually the outcome's going to be people are going to have greater understanding of who they should side with.
I got the liar, the liar and the strength.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure the campaign is feeling like you have to show up or it's going to be a mess. So they're preparing them, but it's all illusions. The liar card of the 7 of Swords and a 10 of Swords. 7, 7, and a 10. It's going to be a disaster for him.
Yeah.
It's going to be a complete disaster, but he has to show up. Barring faking an injury or sickness.
Yeah, he may not have to fake it. He could pop a vessel. The stress of this could do it. I just feel every time I don't go in his energy because I don't want to put my Pampers on. But whenever I walk around it, I just feel like he's like in an Instapot, and he just keeps getting Instapot, that pressure cooker thing.
Oh yeah,
he's just yeah.
I get it. Yeah,
and they don't. It never gets to the end of the pressure.
Yeah. My out cards were the anxiety of the 9 of Swords,
Mm-hmm.
the world changing, culmination of things, King of Swords. He would obviously be on the offensive and defensive. Page of Wands. I think more people are going to see what a lunatic he is.
Mm-hmm.
Those. But yeah, generally I sense he has to show up, barring any last percolating pot. And it will be a disaster.
Well, there's a big argument at the DNC because social influencers and people from alternate media, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube and stuff were given much better access all over the floor than the mainstream media. The mainstream media didn't complain real loud about it, but it was really obvious. And why shouldn't they? Midas Touch has more viewers every day than CNN. If you're talking about going for eyeballs,
yeah.
Why should they put their people in? Who wants to watch CNN? I mean, I watched the Dana Bash interview because I kind of felt like I should, and she was doing nothing but making excuses about the questions she asked, and they were all the right-wing talking points. They need to go have a talk with their new chairman that was close friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and some people think this is for entertainment purposes only, bought that network to protect himself and his friends, and because the lid's going to blow off that as soon as all this is.
But yeah, I was pretty outraged. I found Fox News airing the DNC, but they didn't show any.
They showed none of the Republicans.
Showed no Republicans speaking. Mm-hmm. They cut away, or they had Hannity or whoever talk, and didn't air it. That is BS.
Yesterday, Jesse Waters did a segment at one of those roundtables where they do what we do, Scott. They just shoot their faces off. Anyway, but we don't shoot our faces off like he did. And he made innuendos that suggested physically attacking Kamala Harris in a sexual way. And Midas Touch had it up within 20 minutes of when it was on the air yesterday.
Unfortunately, right wingers won't listen to Midas Touch.
It's okay. They've got all the Republicans that have turned on them that do the same stuff. So
Yeah, you need to get it in that, get the information in that space to at least hopefully let people hear it.
well, Buttigieg does that.
We need more Buttigieg.
Yes, but they're not even letting him on as much. So
Of course. Paxton.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had to look this up before we went on. So we darn posted that right away. It's like, what? DNA? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
somehow they got a court order to seize documents, electronics, and DNA.
Yeah.
Totally illegal.
They're not supposed to be able to get your DNA until you're in custody of some sort. They can't. You can see people where they have people who've witnessed them and they're not even arrested yet. They can't get their DNA until they're in legal custody. So I don't care what the court order says. They can't walk up to my house and said, "We want your DNA." So I'm going to ask if the DNA search was legal, which I don't think it was. And I used to work with Crime Watch here, and I was in grand jury. I listened to cases. You can't get their DNA until they're in legal custody and it's gone past a grand jury. Then they can get their DNA.
What's amazing is how a judge gave them the court order, the warrant.
Well, they may have given them a warrant to raid their house because LULAC's on the radar of LULAC is the largest Latino political organization in the country. And I had a friend who used to be the chair for LULAC for Dallas County. And I actually know the guy who used to be president, Domingo. Domingo's on their case, and I wouldn't want Domingo on my case. He's a very good lawyer. But I'm going to see if the DNA was gotten legally.
I don't know how they got the warrant or whatever, but it's showing it was all BS. I got my transitions, the dark intent, judicial. I think this.
I got
on. They're trying to find something with the money in this political organization.
Mm-hmm.
The raid, looking for something. Kind of like finding dirt on them or something.
They're going to try to attach them to criminals.
Yeah, something like that. In the end, I got the Six of Swords, the Liar card, betrayal, and then the Ace of Wands. So it feels like it's going to get, this raid is going to come out positive, because the Six of Swords is getting better and Ace of Wands is positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and my 5-7 of Swords is, all about betrayal and conflicts and the lies. So it feels like it's going to get worked out okay. But yeah, I think it seems like they're trying to find dirt or something like that on them. Try to stop the organization, kind of.
Good luck with that. It's the largest and oldest one in the country. You're not going to stop it. And incidentally, guys, this happened within 5 days of when LULAC endorsed Kamala. And you go, okay, so he endorsed Kamala. They had never endorsed a candidate before. Ever.
I think it's pretty, this is pretty new. DOJ usually doesn't get involved too quickly if it is.
Well, someone's involved because you got the Two of Wands. Someone's trying to figure out what really happened here. And then you have the Five of Wands, which is, the people. This is gonna kick off all sorts of fighting about how it happened. And it's the Five of Pentacles, and it's because there was someone they wanted more information about that was in that house that they couldn't get. And now there's going to be a blackout. There's going to be a Four of Swords. There's not going to be a lot of information coming out about it, but it's going to eventually lead to the goals of what they want. It's actually going to play into LULAC's hands.
That's what it feels like. So, DOJ involved. I'm getting not yet with DOJ involved.
Mm-hmm.
I think the guy got to work out the circumstances before finding information. And it takes a while.
Yeah, like they don't rush in with a flimsy warrant and do the wrong thing. So
I think I read LULAC's lawyers or whatever are doing what they can and getting involved. The whole process of everything takes time. It's like that raid in that Kansas newspaper that killed grandma or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Got a heart attack. It took forever.
It took a year.
And they're finally getting some justice on it.
And they're finally arresting the sheriff who led it. That's what they need to do. These people shouldn't be able to hide behind the color, the badge, the uniform they wear.
Oh, yeah. This is the race I keep talking every once in a while. When I talk about with Sean.
Right.
Van Orden is a MTG of Wisconsin. Rebecca Cook won the primary.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was working as a waitress or mom or something.
Yeah.
Eventually, I want to try to help out her campaign, donate or whatever. Let's see. Rebecca Cook against Van Orden, not Order, but it's Rden.
It's one of them funny Netherlands, Holland names where they have Van and then another word.
Yeah, he was in the military a long time, but he's out there. He's full.
I don't know anyone who's in the military that's supporting MAGA. I really don't understand it. Didn't they read 2025? They're going to disband every privilege they worked for. They're just not going to do it. Okay.
I don't think they read.
Cook. Oh wow.
Rebecca Cook.
It loves Cook. It says she's involved in a kind of fight now, a Three of Swords thing. But she's the Page of Swords. She's good. She's clever. She knows what she's doing. She's going towards the seat of power. She's got the Wheel of Fortune on her side. The problem is they're trying to lock her in. They're going to try to come up with stuff that locks a lot of her voters out. But it says she's going to win because she got the Emperor, that pretty kitty with a collar, and kitties going around the world, the Wheel of Fortune. So,
oh God, that district used to be Democrat until MAGA jumped in, and Orton's won the last 3 or 4 times.
That's after the stupid governor who took over, who tried to sell the university to the Koch brothers.
Scott Walker, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they funded him. They thought they could buy the universities, and then it ends up they're federal land grant universities, and you can't sell them. If they do anything, they go back to the U.S. government, to the national. They were formed under Lincoln.
My toss doesn't show me definitely she wins. It's still a fight going on. Page of Coins, Page of Swords, Moon. She's ready for the fight. I don't think she's gonna hide away from any controversy that he has been through. She has some strength, good family ties,
Mm-hmm.
Page of Cups, the dreamer, youthful spirit, but she's in for a fight.
Oh yeah. Well, unless they're fighting with themselves, like in Florida, where Trump says, "Oh, I'm all for IVF," and then until they say, "No, you're not." Now he's not. So, you know, people are starting to know those things. I mean, he used to just say them and it'd slide by. At least this time I heard it mentioned that he was slipping between opinions.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting in that primary. It was her, Rebecca, and against the OBGYN doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Waitress against the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
The waitress won. Crazy.
They may be ready for big change there. We had a case in Dallas, this district I live in. I like the lady who won, who's running for Congress, but the guy who I really, really liked, he's actually the chief. He's the head of the emergency room services for the county hospital. Brilliant guy. And he said, "We need doctors in Congress." And he, so
Um,
I got she's going to win. I got it's not going to be easy.
yeah, it feels like it, but it's gonna be a fight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to Paxton again, quick.
Please.
Paxton in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a good read.
Okay.
Ken Paxton in 2025. That man needs his culmination. This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So many years of evading. You were saying his cohorts have been in prison?
Yeah.
Or some of them made deals. I remember in the 3 million bribe or whatever it was, wasn't it?
There was one who came in with him and they did the same deal again after Paxton had already been charged. But this guy was the name on the front of it. Yeah, he's cooling his heels. I've seen pictures of him down in the prison complex. All our prisons are kind of in one place.
Okay.
Yeah, I got he's gonna pay. Here's the Queen of Wands is gonna come in. And he's gonna try to create defenses, some Seven of Wands, but he's gonna get nowhere. His attack is not gonna be successful. It's the Ace of Swords upside down. And he's gonna have a bad moon. Aw, too bad. And it's gonna be for our side, for us, the Ten of Pentacles. They're gonna finally get him.
When does re-election come up again?
In 2 years.
So it's 2026 is again for.
That's our group. That's the head of the legislative. Yeah.
So that would be
That'd be the governor.
Abbott governor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what my senses are telling me. His real comeuppance isn't going to happen until then, I think. I got him still battling in 2025. That's what
He's going to come in, but it's not going to make the difference you might want it to make because, they have to get their DOJ. I mean, she comes in the third week in January officially. I mean, they're all taking over that whole time. And they may have a smoother chance of ramping it up because Biden's people may step back and say, "Come in." I'm trying to see if
possible. Just my last three cards for an outcome because I asked 2025. And I get he's still battling yet. Still battling conflicts. King of Cups, Knight of Wands, and Five of Swords. So he's still got some protection, and all that energy with the Knight of Wands is still fighting the law. So my senses are telling me the year after. I don't know how the heck he keeps getting it all blocked.
He's been there since 2015.
I know.
He had a lot. He's there with.
I mean, he's gonna be struggling the whole time, trying to fend off things. But I don't see a justice happening next year. Just what they're saying. We all want it now, but unfortunately, I don't feel it.
Yeah, and he robbed from his own. I mean, he robbed from other millionaires. You'd think they'd care a little bit.
Friedenberg and whining. I know. A lot of work to do as far as the fairness doctrine and everything like that, and shutting down Fox News, all that good stuff. Let's do an ever. Some kind of fairness doctrine or something that comes in to regulate speech on the airs, especially from like cable news or something. But like podcasters, I really don't think you can do that unless they're lying and hurting people like Alex Jones did. Will Fox News ever be regulated in a right way?
There's hope. Brazil took over Elon's stuff in Brazil, and they seized all of his Starlink money.
I've seen that. No, Elon's crying that Brazil's corrupt, or that judge or whoever is corrupted.
Well, he ought to know.
But yeah, Twitter X is banned in China and Russia. Never says a word about that.
Oh no.
Okay, Fox News ever. I think the guy showed me 2026 that I think we get legislation passed for regulating media content and lies and whatnot.
I get no, not in the near future. And it'll never be completely banned. It will be reformed. It's not changing where it's moving towards. We might have the power to somewhat, and I'm taking this as Kamala's legislation. People are going to talk about doing it, and they're going to put an end to them as they exist now, but it'll never be banned. I didn't get banned.
No, I don't get banned either, but I see the restriction coming with the Eight of Swords. Someday there will be legislation changed again. The energy is moving that way. Knight of Wands, Ace of Coins is where your money comes from, and then being restricted.
I tell you how they could stop Fox News. Ban bleaching your hair. Then they'd run out of hostesses during the day. They wouldn't have anyone to talk.
They'd run out of bleach blonde white girl. Yeah, in the past it's obvious, but the Chariot, Queen of Swords, and Nine of Swords.
Yeah.
The Chariot is taking charge. They brought in this opportunity to negatively bring in disinformation for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end, I had the King of Coins, the lies and deceit of the Seven of Swords, but then it gets better with the Six of Swords. So losing that money, the big wealthy businessman,
Mm-hmm.
Fox News, let's say this goes, or the Murdochs or whatever, but their lies and betrayal on news, but it does get better. So there's a change and something happens, but my senses say it doesn't really happen until 2026.
Well, and you don't want it to happen without consideration, because if they write it the wrong way, it could take a lot of other people down.
Well, Smartmatic's still going after 2.1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. I try to post links and comments, whatever, about how Fox News lies in comments, or my
Mm-hmm.
MAGA friends or whatever, or my MAGA uncle, and he's just like, it's lies. That article's lies. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
it was a court decision. I mean, it was a payoff,
Mm-hmm.
You go, or they'd say it was a kangaroo court. I go, it never went to court. They settled before court.
Mm-hmm.
Guilty, $780 million, and
Mm-hmm.
then they never comment again.
And you can't. They
you
have
can't
to.
believe it.
They have to do that themselves. It's not like they have intermediaries that made that decision for them.
It's just crazy. I'm just like, oh, I seen a pretty cool TikTok yesterday. It was really short, and it goes, tell all your religious friends, what's one thing you won't see in the Bible? White people.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
Unless they're angels.
blow their mind.
Mm-hmm. John, you know who John Fugelsang is, the comedian?
Yeah.
He's finished his book, The Separation of Church and Hate. And it's about all the ways they've stolen from the evangelicals, have stolen parts of the Bible.
I follow him. I'm probably see it.
He just finished. It went to the publisher.
Okay.
No, because QAnon didn't exist in a real form.
That sucks a lot of people in. That kind of went away because you don't really see a lot of QAnon posting. Or that Trump's coming back, but their echo chamber is still there, obviously.
Yeah, they're all talking to each other, but
I mean, it's sunk in. Like I said, mentioning my sort of veteran friend that was that Chief Master Sergeant, he's still echoing the QAnon conspiracy stuff, But as far as who put out a lot of that, I'm not really seeing it. I mean that a lot of those big creator stuff that pushed it, I think they've been banned or blocked. Like
or
that Falun Gong stuff and whatnot. But those big
guys, a lot of that stuff went away when Russia's money started being frozen.
Oh, good point.
So does it give you a good idea of who was pumping the system? I'm surprised.
It just transferred to Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
Elon.
Elon, I'll do anything for $1.
Still buying up. Is Sinclair still buying up local news stations or doing?
No, they bought them all.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think
And they're caught in a trap. There is a rule about you can. Used to be a rule you couldn't own the newspaper and a broadcast station, whether it was radio or TV, in the same markets. And then they broke that. That's how the Dallas Morning News ended up owning WFAA here in Dallas. And Sinclair has I have Spectrum TV, and they have a Spectrum local news channel, and it's controlled by Sinclair. And you just know it. I mean, you just don't. But they don't. The thing is, they're very clever in that they don't make all of their stories totally Sinclair. They do bring up other issues, and they do bring up community issues like before school, where you could go get cheaper school supplies and organizations helping people with that. Hi, Mimi. I'm sorry you're estranged from your sister. I have a friend who, there are 3 sisters, and one of them went off the QAnon bandwagon, and the other 2 finally said, "Don't write to us." They told her not to write to them. They're very devout Catholics, and the QAnon sister wrote that QAnon was going to break in to the Vatican and steal all the gold and take care of all the people who are part of QAnon.
I just did a quick Google, and it says QAnon is down, but the predictions are kind of still there for 2024.
Well, they have other ways. I mean, they got other spokespeople to send them out through. So,
well, the Orange Menace is still promoting a lot of those things, so it's still alive, but the actual group or big posting really doesn't seem to be as much.
Mm-hmm.
Hugs, greeter.
Oh, hi,
Miss Teresa. Hugs to you too, Nancy.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. I can use hugs.
We love hugs. Do show so forcing. Oh yeah, that's kind of normal. All right wingers continue to do that. They're like creating their own QAnon.
Mm-hmm. Become their new home.
Well, the failing site is down to $19 a share or 18.
Yeah.
It's losing. There's maybe 1 million people on that site?
I don't know, but if you ever watch, well, you don't watch Stephanie Rule because you're in bed because you have to get up at the butt ass crack.
I listen to her the next day.
Yeah. She has a real thing about the Truth Social stock. She reports on it about every other day. And then she explains how stocks work. You invest in something that's growing. This is going nowhere.
Yeah, I like Stephanie. She's on target. She's sweet.
I wish she was earlier. She always has a good story at the end, too. She always has something that's good that's happened in the world.
I listen to the podcast version driving the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Time for a straight jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Stephanie's background is finance.
Yeah, I know. That's what she was.
Good. That's a smart thing to be in, and you know what you're doing.
Oh, it's so boring, though. I hated it. I remember my first finance class I sat in when I was getting my master's in business, and when the professor said, "Think we're living in a world without tax, and run your money that way," and I went, "This is the stupidest course I've ever taken in my life. There's nothing you can run like that." Oh yeah, I've already seen that, and he's going away. He's already going away. He's already taking up much less space in that little corner of my head where I have nothing else to do with it. He's not living there rent-free anymore. I don't wake up every day thinking, what stupid thing am I going to hear today? And I think that's happening all over the country.
You think by now MAGA would know that Trump's a loser.
They do.
Lost in 18, lost in 20, lost in 2022. Yet, they lost in 2023 in Virginia.
Mm-hmm. They've lost they've lost 13 special elections in red states, mostly they were. Um, Sean, because he can sneak around and look like a white guy that could be a Republican, he ended up in a meeting of donors and high priced Republicans in Central Texas right after the Dobbs decision had come out. And because they thought he was one of them, good spy in the camp, he sat and listened to them for an hour and a half bitch about how could the Supreme Court do this to them, because that was their cash cow. And they're not stupid people. They understand what this is going to do. And they all kept hanging on. And, Sean said, I never asked him the obvious because I didn't want to blow my cover. But why don't you get rid of the people who put the Supreme Court in place? Why don't you they're the ones that are going to kill you, because, in for a penny, in for a pound, it was Dobbs' decision. And now they came up with that ridiculous that the president's immune if he's in office, and he's immune forever for anything he does. What do you see, Scott? Is he going to disappear?
Well, I didn't look at Trump. I said
MAGA?
I didn't even see that. I said MAGA.
Okay.
What happens with MAGA next summer? There's going to be a lot of disappointments. Meaning, there's more people going to be indicted.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be seeing the truth. They're going to be seeing and realizing the energy of all these new indictments coming in. The King of Swords taking charge, taking a leap of faith, positive energy with the Ace of Wands. Democrats have control of government.
Mm-hmm.
The messaging is not there anymore. The MAGA messaging ain't there because they lost control.
Mm-hmm.
They're in anxiety mode with that Nine of Swords. Government, the messaging, Nine of Swords. This seems like a change because Democrats are in control. There's prosperity. There's going to be some bills coming up next summer that bring prosperity, thanks to the Democrats taking charge.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats, this is my Democrat card, the 9-10 of Cups. Chariot, prosperity with the Ace of Coins. Democrats take charge and bring prosperity. They have the House and the Senate. So I think it's going to be a lot of whining and crying, but I think there's some bills that come up that actually help people. Something passes that actually helps people and then kind of calms down. Pray.
Well, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's a lovely idea, and I hope to God it's true. I mean, getting them out of power, because that's what's frozen Texas. If you wanted to do anything, you needed to be next to the Republicans because of how the state was run. But 2 days in the last week, my grandchildren couldn't attend school because the grid isn't working. And they don't live in some far, rural, poor county. They're the county directly in front, on top of Austin. It's called Williamson County. That's where they're in school. And their schools were closed twice. So we live in a third world nation.
Greeter's got a Trump 2020 flag in the front yard. Oh boy.
Did you hear Danny was talking about it, how all of a sudden, once the signs became available, his neighborhood in California, where he had never seen yard signs the whole time he lived there much, all of a sudden there's Harris Waltz signs, in all the yards. And he said there's still some people who say vote Republican, and everybody treats them with respect, so they're not going to get burned out of their houses. But he went by this one house, and he commented to the woman when he was out for his walk, I like the flag you have with your sign. And the woman said, the best part about that sign? She said, I can put an American flag on it. We've gotten our flag back. And she said, and I hope to God we never let it go again. And I think that's true. That's part of the feeling. I still have my windows are still intact and nothing's ever happened to my car. But I have my Beto for Senate sign. The first time running, it's still on the back of my car. It's the only bumper sticker I have on there.
All right. I'm gonna do like 4 for Nancy and 4 for Michael.
Okay.
See how that works out. Tell me when to stop for Nancy Mace winning in South Carolina. She's not doing herself any favors when she goes out and speaks or interviews and what she's
Why
done.
does her name sound familiar? She's some sort of...
Oh, she's
crazy. I know. Okay, South Carolina. Okay. Yes.
She's a dark-haired lady.
It's the fumes from all the hairspray she uses.
She went a year or so ago. She told in an interview that when she was going to a church thing, she talked about getting lucky that morning. I don't remember that.
No, but it's not looking good for Nancy Mace. I got it all no's, and for him, I got yes. I got 4 yeses for him and 5 no's for her.
Oh, wow.
But it's been hard. He's had a lot of trouble getting the Dems even to think they could go after her. So
I think that's a swing district from what I remember. Oh, Michael looks good.
Yeah, he's all. I've got 3 of Wands, Queen of Wands. He's able to balance with the 2 of Pentacles, and he's able to go into the fight and get with the 6 of Swords. So yeah, he's moving on to a new place. And she got no. She has a World and the 10 of Cups upside down in her reading. That's not
good. She's got decent cards. I mean, I guess because she's an incumbent, probably, and name recognition.
Right.
But she's still attaching herself to MAGA in 45 with the Emperor, 2 of Swords. That's blind, leading blindly. 2 of Wands. I think she's searching assistance yet. And then the 8 of Pentacles. A lot of hard work. So it wasn't like any disastrous. So it would obviously probably be close. But for Michael, I get the World. 6 of Swords.
Moving on to a new place.
Page of Wands. Messenger. And the only somewhat difficult card is the Moon. But with all these other cards being positive, I don't see it being negative. It can be bringing yourself out from the light with all these other positive cards, out from the darkness. You may need to get out more. Here's campaign, but I think mostly Nancy continuing to attach herself to the MAGA type talking points and whatnot. She's leading blindly, so I really think the world.
Well, they've walked into a storm they weren't expecting with the new ticket. You know, if people can't get past Kamala, they certainly get all the way to Walls. So,
yeah, from what I've heard before, read that district is not heavy leaning Republican, so it's somewhat swing. From what I heard, but look, that's good for Michael.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, where is she? She just disappeared off the map.
I know. So I just seen that on Twitter this morning before I was coming down.
She really has. And I wonder if
MTG and Bobert had kind of course they have been off for a month.
No, but still, did that ever stop her before? I'm gonna see if she's been stopped because she has information. Her lawyers have told her to stop because of paperwork from Jack Smith.
MTG?
Mm-hmm.
That's your son?
That's what I think. So I'm going to see it. And if I'm wrong, it'll say wishful thinking.
Okay. What's up with MTG? Well, I'll throw it first. What's up with Moms for Liberty? Ugh.
Oh, God. Well, after they busted the one for having group sex, and then, that's the liberty they want to have. But anyway, for Marjorie, she's working on something, and it's all got to do with betraying other people to cover her own butt. So she's working on something.
So I didn't get any, like notices or, like documentation given to her per se. But I think there is, with Matt Gates's ethics committee thing ongoing. That's what I was just saying, Carrie. I don't think there was a target letter yet. I was trying to get in that energy first, and I didn't see any documentation. But what I'm sensing is that there's been word, that there could be some indictments coming. And kind of like tone down the language and that kind of thing. Because they get a sense there is a loss coming with this Five of Cups.
Right.
There's a loss coming to their rule, their abundance that they've been having. Ace of Cups, Queen of Cups, and this huge loss here in the middle. It wipes out any positivity they've had. And then moving forward, there's a magician with lots of positive energy moving forward. Coming down with some lack of energy with the Five of Wands on MTG. So it could be the DOJ with this magician energy or Jack Smith or something like that. But yeah, I think they got word. Because I got a lot of wands coming in here with that. And that's just, talk, chatter, energy. And I didn't get any coins of documentation in this toss. So I think it's coming. And it just, the behind the scenes chatter within MAGA and the Freedom Caucus and whatnot, it's like, well, maybe we need to tone it down a little bit. Figure out our next move or whatever. We got to win this election, to have leverage, whatever it may be, Bottom of the deck, Sword of Truth is coming. The Ace of Swords.
Yeah, that's the bottom of my deck is Judgment. But every time MTG did something really bizarre, she had Jasmine Crockett right there having a whole new viral video, getting millions of views. Maybe they told her to shut up because she's not helping me.
She's never going to live down that B6. I couldn't believe all the creators and musicians that made little rap songs about that.
Well, on Stephanie Miller's show, when she did the one she did at the DNC, that night one, She had the Frangela came out and they had it on their T-shirts.
Yay! A lot of blue wrenches. Nothing more deadly. Deanna's talking about Heather Loeffler, unindicted co-conspirator. I'm not sure.
That's the name. I don't remember what she's executive or some sort of company and has lots of money.
I'm not sure about that one. Okay, what do I have starred here? Look at Brazil. Banning acts sees Starlink finances. Will the EU be next? Will the US do anything besides nothing? We're stuck in this free speech echo chamber.
Mm-hmm. Our constitutions are different. They have a lot more flexibility. But I'm not sure I'd want us to have some of that flexibility. I just wish they had a way of, like they had when they had the old fairness doctrine. If you have one side on, you have to have the other. Now it's not impinging your free speech. It's actually expanding it. But someday I'll read you my paper I wrote when I was in college on the formation of the networks and how they set up the TV stations and what all rules went into it. Almost every major TV station, when they reopened it and had the stations all licensed, because they just started opening up willy-nilly, and the federal government says, wait a minute, we have to have some control over this. And there was a 3-year ban. You couldn't open a new station from the late 40s into the early 50s. But they reopened them, and when they did, all the stations were owned by relatives of people that were in Congress or Senate. That's how LBJ's wife ended up owning the franchise for ABC and CBS. In Austin, when I first moved to Texas, they didn't have ABC, CBS, and NBC. They only had ABC and CBS were all going out on one channel. Very interesting how all that happened and how it's all changed. But the fairness doctrine is the one that I worked under, and I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm just going to ask, will the U.S. do anything about the finances of the groups?
Yeah, I don't. I didn't take a couple. It's, there's a couple questions there. I just thought about.
They're hard to.
I just thought about X and how they're moving forward. They're in trouble. The X brand is in big trouble. Eight of Swords, the Tower, and Page of Pentacles. They're siphoning money like crazy. They're locked. He's not going to be able to do anything about Brazil's ruling. I don't see it. But yeah, they're in a Tower, Eight of Swords, with the Page of Pentacles. Like they're hemorrhaging money. They're in big trouble. Musk is delusional. So I got a King of Pentacles next to the Seven of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. I think that means he's hemorrhaging money bad too. Like I said, he's delusional. He thinks he can control everything because he's always gotten his way, right? I think he's in a dysfunctional reality that he can just wave his magic wand and make everything happen. He's going to have to sell Twitter. Death. Someone someone better will come around and make it happen with the King of Cups. Um, Four of Pentacles. That feels like a partnership. Musk is going to take a huge loss on this.
I got the Four of Wands, which I think is they're going to reform it into a different kind of company.
Yeah, that's what the Four of Pentacles feels like. That it's like,
right.
You know,
I got
like a good CEO, but it's going to be like a group.
And that's the Six of Swords, moving to a new place, moving it to a new position. Yeah, I got it's gonna happen when Kamala comes in. They're gonna start looking at those. And they may let the EU and other countries take a whack at them to see how it works and try to figure out the best system.
Musk is a moron. He thought he could do all this. It's all coming together and realize Musk was there hanging with Jared Kushner and the Saudi prince. There's a picture of them together at some event, like a soccer or whatever. He thought he could be an oligarch and do all these favors for all these dictators across the pond.
Well, the first thing the Saudis wanted was Twitter shut down.
But it's
not going to work out.
It's a tower on him. Yeah, I seen that with Saudi. I think they wanted Twitter, but they didn't want it used because it can be used for disinformation.
Yeah, it's because it was so used. Tech support tells me that, well, one of the people in tech support's wedding was from Saudi Arabia. It's a friend he'd made playing games online. He lived in Saudi Arabia. Now he's in Canada. He's a dentist, I think. Lovely guy. Anyway, he told us that all that kind of social networking, the Saudis wanted it gone because they couldn't control it, and the young people were all talking about it, and they're all sitting there, and their young population's huge compared to ours, and they're all sitting there doing nothing except maybe figuring out how to get rid of the princes. So
yeah, I guess I have to look up what social media Saudi allows. I mean, you think there's a bunch of them,
but the ones they allow, they have control over, and somehow or another they couldn't get control, and they really wanted that one down because it was so quick, and it attached them to so many people outside of Saudi Arabia. They have social media. I mean, they have that kind of stuff, but it's within the country.
Saudis hate democracy.
Yeah, well, when you want to have all the money in the world and not, and never have faced elections. Look at the guy, the one who runs the place, who took all his relatives and locked them up in a hotel and selectively killed them.
Yeah, the Kremlin was arresting people again that failed in the war. It's like they send people to slaughter, and then it doesn't work, and then they just arrest the people that supposedly were supposed to lead this slaughter. This is such a dumb scenario.
I feel for the Russian people. I do not feel for Putin or any of them, but I feel for them.
Yes, definitely. $5:30 in the UK. 5:30. That's 6 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Oh, that Leffler. That's what I thought you were probably talking about with MTG.
Oh, the blonde chick.
Yeah, the blonde lost her seat. Yeah, they're wealthy. Yeah.
She's the one that ran out of the meeting when she found out about COVID and changed her stock portfolio. Didn't warn the people, don't breathe the air.
No, they all did, right?
Have they done anything about that yet?
Haven't heard a thing. I don't think so.
Mm.
Trump cheering violence. Guy got arrested at the rally. Yeah.
Yeah, but who's at his rallies, guys? I mean, you look at what Dems are pulling in regionally, and they're now sending out their very best spokespeople. Jasmine Crockett just got named one of the co-chairs of her committee, and she's going to be all over your state in the next week or so, Scott. And then she's going to Arizona or Nevada, and yeah, they're sending them out. So it's amazing the strength of the bench that they have that can speak for the Democratic Party right now.
Let's pray not, Monica. I don't sense the big violence, civil war, whatever.
No.
When
And the thing is,
when Kamala wins, it's too big to rig.
mm-hmm.
There's no way. When you lose by 300,000 votes in each state or more,
Mm-hmm.
you can't claim fraud. It's just too much.
We want to get. Have you ever seen the voter map when Carter ran the last time against Reagan? Only 2 states went Democratic, Georgia and Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And then all the rest of it's red. I sent that map to Linda G because she said, there was ever a map like that?
Yeah,
and,
it'd be nice if we seen that again with Kamala, except all blue.
Mm-hmm. It's all blue. And if right now, if according to the stats that Sean's looking at on his channel, if you take the Electoral College from the solid blues and light blues, we have 70 more electoral votes than they do right now. And he's not pushing his numbers, guys. Pushing the numbers means I'm going to pick the most favorable one for the people I like. He's trying to be conservative on that. But they've got Texas is now likely blue. Unfortunately, our governor doesn't have to run for 2 years, so.
Yeah, I mean, all these states are really close. Nine states are really close.
They're really close if you base what you think is going to be how the voting base of likely voters, which means they had to have been registered before 2020, how those are structured. But if you look at all these new voters, and that's what shocked them in the 13 special elections that the Republicans lost. All of the new voters came and they voted. Used to be people would register to vote and then maybe I will, maybe I won't. No, these people are registering for a purpose.
Correct. I guess I said that kind of wrong close. I mean, like, what I'm talking about is like a Florida or Texas. I don't believe they're, in the red column. Definitely. That's what I mean by close.
Oh, yeah.
North Carolina is close. But I don't believe, Pennsylvania's going blue, Michigan's going blue, Minnesota's going blue.
And we're all shining blue.
Arizona's going blue.
We're shining blue light towards Wisconsin.
So Scott can go blue too.
Scott can drive around in his little truck saying, I'm in a blue state. I'm in a blue state.
Generally, in every election, Wisconsin is like 1% Democrat. Generally.
Mm-hmm.
So I have faith that MAGA is going to go down. 2016, Trump won by 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
2020, Wisconsin went to Joe by more. I can't remember the exact number. But what's odd, our governor won by 300,000.
Mm-hmm.
Democrat.
Well, that's because you're so gerrymandered. I mean, you're not gerrymandered for the Senate, but for the House and all the rest of it, you are one of the most gerrymandered states.
the state got fixed. We're still on the old maps for the federal though.
Yeah. But
yeah, it has been, but no, the state should go pretty good because the maps are all fair now.
Mm-hmm.
Because instead of being technically should be up one Democrat, it's almost a majority Republican.
Mm-hmm.
The Assembly and Senate, which is
you don't have do you have a super majority? Okay.
It's close.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like 1 or 2 seats on both sides to be to overrule veto. It's real close, but that's what's unfortunate. It shouldn't be that way, but it's turning around. But I'll never understand how Ron Johnson won 2 years ago. Our governor wins by 300,000 and Johnson wins by 100,000. It's like 300,000 to 400,000 swing.
Yeah.
Like, how did Johnson win?
You talk about stealing elections. Who's that election clerk that they keep finding boxes of votes under her desk somewhere in Wisconsin? I mean, even for Texas, that would be bad.
I think that was a small town. But yeah, she was like totally MAGA and she was trying to swing it. Unbelievably. It's like a little small town is not going to generally shouldn't turn an election. 121 already. Oh my God.
I know. We've just chattered away like
it went fast. Living in Texas, I'm not a Texan.
I live in Texas. I came here in 1967. I gave birth to 3 Texans. They have to say they're Texan because they were born here. Yes. And Mark Elias, if you have any spare change that you don't want to give to a candidate, his program is wonderful.
Yeah. Mark Elias is saving, his team are saving us.
Yeah, they just won a big one in Georgia. They blocked the things that Georgia thought it had passed. They're not going to be able to do it because it wasn't posted in time.
Yeah, he's delusional. His brain is mush. I read DeJoy's trying to get a budget and just crushing it. He's trying to get a new budget for the post office, and it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
Why can't they get that man out? I want to know whose picture he has in his back drawer that he pulls out and says, "This will be public."
But that's a prediction that didn't come true.
I know.
Good. And I felt him gone. Like maybe a year after they changed the board, and it always seems like there's one holdout. So that won't get any movement on that. There you go. Check your voter registration.
Right. And if you have a vote early state, go vote early. So if there's any problem, you can take care of it before. Because if you wait till the day of.
Mark Elias got hired by the Walsh team.
Yes, they're helping them with their election problems. His team is.
Yeah. So there ain't going to be no mischief like 2020.
Oh, excuse me. There's a whole lot of land to cover in this state. There'll be mischief.
So yeah, Kemp is doing the right thing, it seems, on this election board stuff.
Yeah, but he let them get away with it in the first place. He shouldn't. I mean, the second that Trump said their names from the podium. Nancy Cass asked if Tennessee can go blue. Yes, there's a chance. There's a lot of people pissed off about when they threw those people out of the legislature, and you have the woman running for Senate who could pull out a lot of votes. So
Yeah, we've read on her,
mhm.
and she's got to get out there and work, but we do feel it's possible.
Michael,
Gloria.
you want to ask about if he's going away? Is he? Because that's part of what they said's driving the people to register in Louisiana was people who hate him.
It's amazing people can actually get that information.
What information?
About how bad he is.
Oh.
Because you know, it's just like information is suppressed, or a lot of people just don't care. But there's got to be groundwork, whether it's TikTok or whatever, getting the information out there to have that.
They are. It's out there. They just have to figure the right words to get into the algorithm to see it. My daughter watches it all the time. She's forever bringing TikTok and things to my attention, all of which I agree with. TikTok gives me a headache, though. I'm old.
Mike Johnson update. So Val Demings was hired for something. I can't remember what it was. Joe appointed her to something. I can't remember what it was.
Guess what? Mr. Michael might be going away.
Mike Johnson.
He thinks he's really set with the Four of Wands. And he thinks, he's in touch with God, the high priestess, his high priestess. So thinks it's all gone. But then it's reversed. His spidey sense is screwed up. His hermit's screwed up. He's got a reverse sun. And he's got a reverse Three of Wands. So he could lose. I don't know who's running against him. What do you think about it?
Yeah. Johnson helped set up that Arlington Cemetery junk. Called in a favor or whatever to help get 45 in his team there. Mike Johnson. In the past, he was a master manipulator.
Mm-hmm.
6 of coins, Knight of coins, and 7 of cups. That's what it's telling me. In the past, he's just been a master manipulator of whatever he needs to do in the house or any bills or whatever. King of cups, Knight of swords, 9 of cups. He's in trouble here because Democrats control things more. He's losing the battle.
Yeah, I think he has a real chance of going away.
10 of cups, 6 of cups, King of wands. What does that mean?
6 of cups, King of wands.
10 of cups, the happy home, the family card. 6 of cups, dealing with the past. King of wands is a leader. What does that mean? It definitely gives me the feeling that he's not going to be speaker.
No, I know he's not going to be that, but I got a feeling he's not going to be there.
My question was, show me Johnson through January 2025.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Democrat energy. Cups are all my Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Wands are... So King of Wands would be the House speakership. 6 of Cups... Oh, I hit something. Oops, okay. 6 of Cups is dealing with the past, and the 10 of Cups is a happy home. It's Democrat card. It's like the feeling of losing. because Johnson or McCarthy was removed, right?
Right.
So that same energy is still there that he could be removed as speaker, whatever. So in
Well,
the
he'll
end,
be removed when the Dems sweep the House. He'll be removed when the Dems sweep the House. But I got a feeling he's not going to be in the House.
Ooh.
Mine was he loses the whole thing. And very unexpectedly, because he's trusting in what people are saying to them. And if they're not willing to say the hard things, like this is how much your voter universe has changed. Trust me, I've had those conversations with candidates. It's hard to say, you're relying on this information that's 6 months old.
So whatever happens to him, so I got some material matters with the magician coming at him, and he's going to have to defend himself, but he's going to lose with the 10 of swords.
Mm-hmm.
So I got an ace of coins running down the road with all this prosperity and information and material matters, which would be his speakership. Then I got a magician riding in. Could be that special counsel, whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
7 of Wands is usually like you're defending your victory, right? Usually, like most decks, they have that victory of the 6 Wands.
Right.
And then you got the one you're holding. You're trying to defend your victory.
Right.
But Johnson loses.
Mm-hmm.
Got that 10 of swords on him. So he's in for some things coming up. And I think we sensed there's going to be indictments after the election.
Mm-hmm. That can make a lot of them go away rather quickly.
Especially if they don't win.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose their seats, they're easy game. If Jack's got the special counsel's got the info needed to indict on these House members and Senate members.
Are we kind of done with Mike Johnson?
Yeah.
Lisa Foster keeps asking about Kentucky, and she's a real hardcore true follower of us.
Oh, yeah. I know she lives in Kentucky, yeah.
And I just laid it, and Lisa, I don't see Kentucky turning blue. I see it changing, but not turning blue.
Yeah, it was wonderful they got Brashear back in.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll just randomly cut the deck quickly for Kentucky 3 cards.
Okay.
See what happens here. I have the Chariot, Victory. There's better times.
Mm-hmm.
A quick 3 pull. I just cut the deck and it says there is better times coming.
Good. Think on his reading. Don't think about mine.
Okay, what's in the bottom? Yeah, there's change coming. God, wouldn't that be amazing if Kentucky can flip blue? Andy Beshear is a big reason why people are changing there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Keep praying, Lisa. Keep praying. We pray for our whole country. We need to get rid of MAGA.
That's right. And if y'all want to help, can I talk about the Psychothon? Which sounds like a bad movie, but I think I talked about it a little bit at the beginning. There's starting at 4 o'clock Eastern time, 1 o'clock Pacific time. There's going to be a psychothon, and it was put together by Voices from the Akashic Records, Deborah Lupien. The woman's done a killer job. She's arranged readers to be on her channel. You can find it through her channel, if no other way. Also, I put it in the chat. If you go back in the chat at the very beginning, you'll see this Nancy Jean's Garden post. and tells a YouTube channel it's going to be on. It's going to be 24 hours of readers live. And I'm doing the second and third hour. I'm doing an hour with Jeffrey, and I'm doing an hour with Sheila, Psychic Tarot. And then Sheila will be the next hour with somebody else. And there's just an incredible lineup of readers that are going to be there. If you go to that link that I put up, you'll see all of them. But there's going to be readers I've never seen before. But unfortunately, they're from Australia, and they're in the middle of the night. So I think I will still have not seen them by tomorrow. But it's a chance. It's a telethon. It's like a webathon, and there are going to be links and everything so you can donate to Harrison Walls. That's what it's about. And there's a lot of us who've given giveaways. I'm giving away 2 gardens, and I'm giving away a grid to one of the people who gives money to it.
What was the name of the channel again?
It's Voices of the Akashic Records. It's her channel. Deborah, Debbra Lupien, Luppein, I believe. But you can highlight it, Scott. It's at the very top of the chat.
I don't know if I can get up there.
I can put it in again.
I subscribed before, but I don't remember the channel.
Anyway,
gosh.
And there's a couple who did pre-taped. Marianne from Australia pre-taped, and there was another woman who pre-taped. But I think it's there. I just posted it again.
There you go. You did it.
Okay. Yeah. The only reason I got involved with it was because she called me because she knew I'd run political campaigns, and she wanted to know about restrictions around collecting money like this. And so I sent her to the right people so she could get it set up properly. She has done a kick-ass job of getting this organized. And, people are going to be doing all sorts of different things. Deborah, Lupien, her name's on there right now. It's Lupien. Yeah. And I'd like to see our community well represented. I mean, thank you, thank you, Lisa Foster. And I think it's going to be a fun time. Scott said, couldn't you go to sleep last night? Because I was really late coming into our meeting. And it's because I was thinking about this.
Okay.
So if you want to join us, if you want to hear, everybody's going to run their own thing. I think Jeffrey and I are going to take questions from the chat like we do here. And when I'm with Sheila, we're just going to giggle the whole time. That's what Sheila.
Yeah. It starts at
3
Central, I think.
3 Central.
Yeah, 3 p.m. Central.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's 4 Eastern time is where it starts.
Vicky just said, 4 Eastern, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the first hour is going to be Deborah and another name I don't know. And then I don't know how they're going to slip it over to Jeffrey and I. I do have my link. Although I did find out.
Woo-woo.
Mm-hmm.
Get her done.
And so if you liked watching Scott and I, go over and look at these other folks. It's not like they're going to be competition to us, Well,
you got to bring out some inspiration card today?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do my medicine oracle because they've been really good lately. And if you don't want to watch me with Jeffrey and whatever, I still am doing readings. I still am building grids. I still am working with my garden. I will have my show Tuesday. And what Nancy Cass said about it, she actually got this idea from the Jerry Lewis telethons, and this would be a good day to do it. So I don't know what it's going to be like where you are. It's supposed to be wet and rainy here, which is kind of fun.
Oh, we got like 10 days of sun and 75 degrees average.
Oh,
Light breeze. It's going to be a beautiful 10 days here.
I told Sean I'm going to be so jealous. He's moving to Wisconsin next week, and they got him a place. He knows.
Yay.
And they apparently may be holding him over to get ready for the Ebers campaign.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what we're supposed to do this week is going within. And if you've never seen a boji stones are two crystals that are joined together that don't look very similar. And they're kind of interesting. I don't own any because my rock shop doesn't sell them. And when I look at them online, I'm like, that's a lovely stone. Buy that. And the message for going within, we're going into the inner world. If you know anything about shamanic things, this card and medicine may have come through for you today as a message that it is time to focus your attention and energy inward. Go within to discover the answers for your current questions. In truth, everything we need is already within us. And when we take the time to stop, be still, journey within, we are blessed with deep knowing. Over the years, humanity has created a world with an abundance of energy and experiences that draw us to the outside, which can be a huge distraction from us trying to connect to our higher self. And I think that's true. I think we don't need to get distracted. It's like I said, I finally have managed to meditate and train myself into not waking up in a state of panic thinking, what am I going to hear today? Reality has helped that, but also the fact I can focus on it helps. So don't let the bad guys get you. Don't you let the bad guys get you. You go inside and say, they're not real.
Yeah, there you go. I think the universe has a magician entering for us this week and beyond. It's you can manifest anything you want in your life. You need what will magically appear in successful beginnings. Believe in yourself. Leap of faith. It's the Fool card in most decks, but it's believing yourself and listening to your heart. Do what gives you joy. And we have the energy coming through, the movement, the Eight of Wands. Great deal of activity, sudden and immediate results, important communication. So I kind of this. It's just this energy that's flowing and there's faith moving forward with the Harris campaign, and change can come. And this magician that the higher order in our lives is bringing that positive energy to us. And like you said with yours, in this Fool is that believing it can happen and believing it will happen.
I have a friend who stumbled into being at the DNC. He's a little difficult to explain, but anyway, one of his old college roommates was one of the organizers, and he said, "Can you come be my wingman and help me run around and do things?" And so my friend went to the DNC, and I've talked to him since he was up there, and he said it was such a joyous place to be. And it's like everybody unplugged that part of their body that they'd been holding in. Can it be a good thing? All of a sudden they said, hey, we're in the middle of a good thing. And you're in a whole room full of people. And I mean, a whole enormous thing full of people saying, this is a good thing. And he said it was like, there's no way to explain what it was like to see that joy break forth. And I think it's because for all of us, we've held so much of what could be joyous inside of ourselves, because you get to the point you just don't trust it's not going to be ugly.
There was a lot of joy there. A lot of
And,
different energy than what brought in the RNC.
mm-hmm.
Was
Oh
it?
yeah, if you saw the pictures, the images side by side.
Yeah, they're holding up signs of what the heck were they hanging?
Oh, they were saying deport
Yeah, mass
something.
deportations or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And we're holding up signs of USA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, it's a total different energy feel.
And we've on Monday it's going to be a new moon, so it's a great new moon to start planting really positive intentions into it, and we're going to really.
Yeah,
It's
the new moon is set your intentions to
yeah, it's like a seed. It's like the seed,
accumulate
right?
at the full moon. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And anyway, Scott and I need to take a break.
When are you on? After 3?
3. No,
You're
I
on
go on at 4.
way.
I go
You're
on
on,
at she opens it up at 3, and then I go on at 4.
so you're an hour. Okay. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
there wasn't a person wearing a maxi pad on their ears. That was such a revelation.
The last thing, Mini G. We all got to believe in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in your family, and get rid of the toxicity that is in our own world,
Mm-hmm.
not just online, but in your own space. They're not in your soul family if there's that much negativity, whether it's cousins, uncles, whatever. Bye bye now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it affect you.
I mean, what says, what gives them the right to control your brain? Nobody.
Yeah. That's why my Nancy and I will look at social media or whatever, lay
Mm-hmm.
in bed, and we'll just laugh at these people and say, "Oh my God, this can't be real."
And
Block, or whatever. you know.
mm, yeah, it's sort of amazing how large and fast stupid can grow.
Yeah.
But it's also just what we've kicked. Just think of the convention's it's a little over a week old, and just think how much more joy has been spread out into the world. And everybody watch if you like debates. I always watch. I don't want to watch this debate because he'll be talking, and I'm good at hitting the mute button, but might be worth listening to just watching him go down. Um, but take advantage of looking at those things so you can strengthen your own sense of self-belief. And that was hard. There were some times in the last since 2016 that was hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Lisa was helping me on Facebook last few days, try to get rid of my MAGA family trolls.
Oh God, somehow I got caught up in one. And I went.
You must have been half asleep or something, but you wrote
I
a good,
was. It was.
you
It
wrote a
was
good
one of my
comment.
middle of the night moves.
You wrote a good comment because I finally found it.
I think it was something like I didn't say what I wanted to say. I put it politely, but it was like, "What the f are you talking about?"
Yeah, my female cousin, she's kind of lost.
Well, maybe she knows you're not alone. Scott has friends. I don't. Maybe I should look at that pattern. My only cousin that I have any connection with, she lives in Canada. And all of this year, she kept saying, I'm redoing my guest room. She's just over the border, kids. So, and I can go up there and live. And I can take my Social Security because I have dual citizenship.
Neat.
But I have dual. If you had a grandparent born in Ireland, you can have Irish citizenship, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's not hard. You've got to fill out the right paperwork.
No, she don't know. But my MAGA cousin, her life has been the last few years is going to flea markets and fairs and selling Trump memorabilia. When
Well, he's got a vested interest in keeping him going. I wish I'd have known that.
yeah,
I would have. There's things I have for people that I know live like that. There are people who used to sell themselves as campaign managers, and they were just trinket sellers. They knew how to buy all the right bumper stickers and things, and then they tell these people how to win their campaigns. And I had a woman judge who was a Republican come up to me and she said, "Where can I find a cool magnetic sign like yours?" And she and I had a talk about how she was being led, and she was already on the ballot as a Republican for the judge. She won her judgeship again. But the next time she ran as a Democrat. She went to a different court and she won because she's a good judge. Wheezy Squeezebach has two great Irish grandparents. You can go be an Irish citizen. You can get dual citizenship.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, I found it amazing. My MAGA cousin, female, totally. She goes, "What the heck does cheating on your spouses have anything to do with running the country?" I'm like, what?
If it depends, if you took a vow to be faithful and then you broke it, it's sort of like when you take a vow to take care of the country and then you don't. I've never had a problem with that one.
It just goes one ear out the other. It's like, well, you try to tell her, well, he lost $90 million judgment for assault on E. Jean Carroll. Does that matter to you? No.
Ask her if one of her
it was a kangaroo court.
Ask her if one of her higher selling items is a bumper sticker that says "Grab him by the pussy."
She'll dismiss it somehow as fake news. It never happened.
We just heard him say it. That's all.
It's crazy. I know, right? MAGA doesn't get that. That character matters. It's ugh.
Yeah, what policy? I wish the woman would tell me some policy that
there is no policy.
I know. Well, read 2025. There's a policy, but not scare the crap out of you.
Yeah. The last 20 years there's been no Republican policy.
No,
nothing.
They hung on to Reagan until Reagan wouldn't even want to be with him, the same room with him.
When Barack Obama got elected, Mitch McConnell's primary directive was to stop him.
They met the night before his inauguration. That leadership of the Republican Party met and said, "We're going to make him a 4-year president, one term."
That's what they've been doing. And then they get the holy orange one and then do a thing. Except run up debt. It's outrage. It's BS. And it needs to stop in November.
We need an honest, clear-cut person like J.D. Vance, who's had 3 names in his life. I listened to a numerologist, and when you change your name like he has, it really makes it very, very hard on the numerologist to figure out what you're doing and where you're going. And he's not even into the J.D. Vance name yet. He's still doing the old one. It takes 12 years. It's just,
Oh, my lordy.
Anyway, I will let all of you people go, rest up, get a good, strong lunch. I'll see you at 4 my time.
Yep, get some rest.
Yep. Take
Peace
care.
out, people. Love.